Tell me this isn't happening. Min-jae, are you even happy about this?
I am just...
Amara Williams froze with her hands still raised, her fingers trembling around the pregnancy test she had just thrown onto the table. Across from her, Kang Min-jae stared at the two pink lines as though they had just changed the entire direction of his life. Say something, Amara demanded. He didn't. She stepped closer. Min-jae, say something. His eyes lifted slowly to hers. How long have you known? 3 days. And you came here alone? Yes. Does anyone else know? Amara's expression hardened. Why? Min-jae stood so quickly that his chair scraped violently across the floor. My mother. The fear in his voice was so immediate that Amara stopped breathing for a second. Your mother? She repeated. She cannot know. Amara laughed once, but there was no humor in it. She picked up the medical report from the table and held it toward him. I'm carrying your child, and the first thing you can think about is your mother? You don't understand. Then explain it. I can't. You have 2 minutes. Amara. 1 minute. He stared at her. Then his face changed. Not anger. Not embarrassment. Fear. My mother already has someone chosen for me. Amara's stomach dropped. Chosen. She arranged an engagement. To whom? Yoon Seo-jin. The silence that followed felt heavier than the shattered glass beneath their feet. Amara looked at the man she had secretly loved for almost 2 years. Then she looked at the pregnancy test. When she spoke again, her voice was frighteningly calm. Fine. Min-jae swallowed. Fine. She picked up her handbag. I'll tell your mother myself. He grabbed her wrist. Don't. Amara looked down at his hand, then back at his face. Let go. Please. She pulled free. You had 2 years to tell that woman about me. It's not that simple. No, it isn't. She moved toward the door. Min-jae followed. Amara, please, just give me time. She turned around. Time. Her eyes filled with tears, but she refused to let them fall. You've been asking me for time since the day you told me you loved me. He couldn't answer. She took one more step toward him. Then she said the sentence that would eventually threaten one of Korea's most powerful families. Your mom will know I'm pregnant for you. Min-jae's face went completely pale. And before anyone could discover why those words terrified him so much, Amara walked out. If stories about love, betrayal, hidden wealth, and dangerous family secrets keep you watching until the very end, subscribe to the channel, like this video, and comment where you're watching from. Because what Amara was about to discover was far bigger than a secret pregnancy. 3 days earlier, she had sat alone in a small clinic in Seoul, staring at the pregnancy test between her fingers. She had expected fear. Instead, she felt something close to wonder. For years, Amara had built her life around control. She had learned early that depending on people could be dangerous. Her father had disappeared when she was young, leaving her mother to raise her alone. Amara had watched her mother work 2 jobs while pretending everything was fine. That experience shaped her. She became a lawyer because she wanted to understand the rules that powerful people used to control everyone else. And she became fiercely independent because she never wanted to be the woman waiting for someone else to rescue her. Then Min-jae happened. Their first meeting had been nothing like a romantic movie. Amara had been representing an American technology company in a complicated dispute involving a Korean corporation. Min-jae had entered the conference room late. Everyone stood. Amara didn't. He noticed. You're the American attorney? He had asked. And you're the man who arrived 20 minutes late. The room went silent. Min-jae had smiled. You're not afraid of me. Should I be? No. Then we're off to a good start. That was the beginning. They argued. They challenged each other. They began having coffee after meetings. Then dinners. Then long conversations that lasted until sunrise. Min-jae told her things he had never told anyone else. He hated being the heir. He hated family dinners where everyone smiled while calculating what everyone else wanted. He hated the way his mother could silence an entire room with one look. Amara listened, and slowly, without realizing it, she fell in love. But there had always been one rule. His family couldn't know. At first, Amara accepted it. She believed Min-jae needed time. Then 6 months passed. Then a year. Then 18 months. Every time she asked about his mother, he gave the same answer. Soon, that word became a wound. Still, she stayed. Because Min-jae wasn't cruel. He was affectionate when they were alone. He remembered how she took her coffee. He called when she was sick. He flew across the country once because Amara casually mentioned that she had never seen the ocean from the eastern coast. He loved her. At least she believed he did. Then everything changed. One Friday evening, Amara walked into a luxury hotel for a business dinner and saw Min-jae standing beneath a wall of cameras. Beside him stood an elegant Korean woman in a white dress. His mother stood behind them. A reporter shouted a question. "Chairman Kong, is this the official announcement?" Min-jae's mother smiled. "The families are pleased to confirm that Min-jae and Seo-jin will soon be married." Amara couldn't move. The woman beside Min-jae smiled for the cameras. Min-jae didn't. His eyes suddenly found Amara across the room. The color disappeared from his face. She turned around before he could reach her. He found her outside. "Amara." She kept walking. "Please." She stopped. "You're getting married." "No." She turned. "Your mother just announced it." "It isn't what you think." "Then what is it?" "My mother arranged it." "And you agreed." "I didn't agree." "You stood beside her." "I had no choice." Amara stared at him. "You always have a choice." He stepped closer. "Not with her." That answer hurt more than anything else could have. She shook her head. "You're 34 years old, Min-jae." "I know. You run a billion-dollar company." "I know. You can sign contracts worth millions without asking your mother." "I know. Then why can't you tell her that you love me?" His silence answered the question. Amara's eyes filled. "How long?" "Amara, how long are you going to keep hiding me?" He reached for her. She stepped back. "Don't. Please let me explain. I've heard enough." She walked away. Min-jae watched her disappear into the crowd. He thought he had lost her that night. He had no idea she was carrying his child. And he had no idea that his mother already knew something about that child that even Amara hadn't discovered. The envelope was waiting on Amara's desk the following Monday morning. No name, no return address, just a single sentence written across the front. "You should ask Min-jae what his mother is afraid of." Amara stared at it for several seconds. Then she opened it. Inside was one photocopied document. At first, it looked like an ordinary corporate agreement. Then she saw the name, Kong Group. Her eyes moved down the page. Inheritance trust, controlling shares, biological descendants. She read the final paragraph twice. If Kong Min-jae produced a legitimate biological heir, certain controlling shares would be transferred into an irrevocable trust established for that child. Amara's pulse quickened. She read it again. Then her phone rang. Min-jae. She ignored it. He called again. She answered. "What is it?" "I need to see you." "No." "Amara, please. Did you send me this?" "What?" "The document." Silence. "Min-jae, I don't know what you're talking about." She closed her eyes. "Then someone wants me to know something." "Where are you?" "At work." "Stay there." "Why?" "I'll come to you." "No." "Amara." She ended the call. 10 minutes later, Min-jae walked into her office. She looked at him without standing. "You knew." His expression changed. "Knew what?" "The inheritance trust." He closed the door. "Where did you get that?" "That isn't an answer." "Amara, listen to me. You knew that if you had a child, that child could inherit controlling shares in Kong Group." His silence confirmed it. She stood. "How long?" "Since I was 25. "And you never told me?" "I didn't think it mattered." She laughed bitterly. "You didn't think it mattered?" "I didn't know we'd have a child." "But you knew there was a reason your mother would panic if you did." "My mother isn't supposed to know about the trust." "Then why are you afraid of her finding out about the pregnancy?" He looked away. Because she has spent years trying to change it. Amara's anger faded slightly. Change what? The trust. How? She tried to convince my grandfather to amend it. And he refused. Why? Because he didn't trust her. That sentence lingered. Amara looked at the document again. Who sent this? I don't know. She walked to the window. Someone wants me to investigate. I want you to stay away from this. She turned. That's exactly what you said about your mother. Because I know what she's capable of. No, Minjae. You know what you're afraid she's capable of. He stared at her. Then his phone rang. He answered. His expression changed almost instantly. What happened? Amara watched his face. What? He ended the call. My mother knows. Amara's heart dropped. How? I don't know. A black sedan was waiting outside the building. Two men stood beside it. Minjae looked at Amara. You need to leave through the back. I'm not running. This isn't a game. I know. The elevator doors opened. A woman in a dark suit stepped out. Ms. Williams. Amara recognized her. Madam CEO's personal assistant. She would like to speak with you. Amara folded her arms. Tell her she can call my lawyer. The assistant smiled. She said you'd say that. She handed Amara another envelope. Amara opened it. Inside was a photograph. Her leaving the clinic 3 days earlier. Her hand was resting unconsciously over her stomach. Amara's blood ran cold. How did she get this? The assistant said nothing. Minjae stepped between them. Take the elevator. The assistant's smile disappeared. She said you should tell Ms. Williams that the child is not the only thing she can take from her. Amara's eyes hardened. What exactly does that mean? The assistant walked away. Minjae grabbed Amara's hand. We're leaving. She pulled away. No. Amara. She threatened my career. I know. She photographed me at a medical clinic. I know. And you're still telling me to run? His voice cracked. I'm telling you because I'm scared. That stopped her. Minjae had never said those words before. He looked at her. I can fight my mother. Then fight. I don't know if I can win. Amara stepped closer. Then stop asking me to fight alone. For a moment, neither spoke. Then Minjae reached for her. This time she didn't move away. But before he could touch her, her phone rang. Her law firm's managing partner. She answered. Hello. The man's voice was cold. Ms. Williams, you need to come to the office immediately. Why? There has been a complaint filed against you. What kind? Confidentiality breach. Amara's face went still. That is impossible. The evidence says otherwise. She looked at Minjae. Who filed it? The partner hesitated. Then he said the words that made her stomach twist. Kong Group. The call ended. Amara slowly lowered her phone. Minjae whispered her name. She looked at him. You said your mother wouldn't come after my career. I said I didn't think she would. You were wrong. He reached for her. She stepped back. No. Amara. No. She picked up her handbag. I'm going to my office. I'm coming with you. You can't. Why? Because if your family is behind this, having you beside me makes me look guilty. His face fell. You don't believe that. I don't know what to believe anymore. She walked away. By the time she reached her law firm, 3 reporters were waiting outside. One shouted her name. Another asked whether she had used her relationship with Kang Minjae to obtain confidential information. Amara stopped. What? A reporter held up a document. Did you leak confidential corporate information to your boyfriend? She stared at the paper. Carried her signature. But she had never seen it before. Someone had forged it. And whoever had done it wanted the entire country to believe she was a criminal. That evening, Amara sat alone in her apartment. Her career was collapsing. Her relationship was breaking. Her pregnancy was now a weapon. And someone inside the Kong family was moving pieces she couldn't yet see. Then there was a knock. Amara looked toward the door. She wasn't expecting anyone. Another knock. She approached slowly. Who is it? A woman's voice answered. Yoon Seo-jin. Amara froze. Min Jae's arranged fiancé. The woman she had every reason to hate was standing outside her apartment. And she had come alone. Amara opened the door only halfway. Seo-jin stood in the hallway holding a small black folder. "I don't have much time," she said. Amara didn't move. "What do you want?" "To warn you." "About what?" "Min Jae's mother." Amara stared at her. "You're engaged to her son." "Not by choice." "That's convenient." Seo-jin's expression didn't change. "You think I want this?" "I don't know what you want. My father wants the Kong Group contract. My mother wants the wedding. Min Jae's mother wants control of both families." She held up the folder. "And I want to survive." Amara opened the door. "Come in." Seo-jin entered. She placed the folder on the table. "These are copies of financial transfers." Amara opened it. Her eyes moved across the documents. Shell companies, offshore accounts, Kong Group subsidiaries. Her legal instincts immediately took over. "Where did you get these?" "My father's accountant." "Why would he give them to you?" "Because he discovered that money was being moved out of our joint investment." Amara looked up. "Your family is involved?" "Not willingly." Seo-jin sat down. "Your boyfriend's mother has been moving company assets for months." Amara studied her. "And the inheritance trust?" Seo-jin's eyes narrowed. "So you know." "Someone sent me a copy." Seo-jin leaned forward. "Then you need to understand something." "What?" "Your pregnancy isn't why she's afraid." Amara frowned. "Then what is?" Seo-jin lowered her voice. "Your pregnancy proves the trust still exists." Amara stared at her. Seo-jin continued. "Min Jae's grandfather created the trust because he believed his wife would eventually try to take control of the company." "His wife?" "Madam Seo." Amara looked back at the documents. "So his grandfather anticipated this?" "Yes." "And Min Jae knew?" "Yes." "Did you?" "Only recently." Amara's jaw tightened. "Why did you come to me?" Seo-jin looked at her. "Because if you lose, I lose too." That answer was honest enough for Amara. They spent the next hour examining the documents. Then Amara noticed something. She pointed to a transfer authorization. "This signature." Seo-jin leaned closer. "What about it?" "It's fake." "How do you know?" "Because the person who supposedly signed this was overseas on that date." Seo-jin's face changed. "You're certain?" "I've handled his company's filings before." "So someone forged the signature and moved millions." Seo-jin looked frightened. "Then this is bigger than I thought." "No." Amara closed the folder. "It is bigger than both of us thought." The next morning, Amara went to the law firm. Her managing partner wouldn't meet her. Security stopped her at reception. "I'm an attorney here." The guard looked uncomfortable. "Your access has been suspended." "Who authorized it?" "The board." "On what grounds?" He handed her an envelope. Inside was a suspension notice. Amara read it. Her hands shook. Then she noticed something else. An attached message from an unknown number. "You were warned." She looked around. Someone was watching. She walked outside. Min Jae was waiting across the street. She almost kept walking. He crossed toward her. "Amara, what are you doing here?" "I came to apologize." "For what?" "For not telling you everything." She laughed bitterly. "You should make a list." "I deserve that." "Yes, you do." He stepped closer. "I want to help." "You had your chance." "I didn't understand how far she would go." "You understood enough to hide things from me." He looked down. "I was afraid." "So was I. I thought if I kept you away from my family, you'd be safe." "You didn't keep me safe." She pointed toward the law firm. "You gave your mother time to prepare." He had no answer. Amara turned away. "Amara." She stopped. He said softly, "I love you." Her eyes closed. For one dangerous second, she almost turned around. Then she remembered the cameras, the lies, the engagement, the forged documents, the fear. She opened her eyes. Love isn't enough when it only appears in private. She walked away. That night, Min-jae confronted his mother. The conversation began quietly. You went after Amara's career. Madame Seo continued drinking her tea. I protected this family. You forged evidence. I did nothing that cannot be corrected. You threatened her. She should never have entered this family. She is carrying my child. His mother looked up. And that is precisely why she must leave. Min-jae's voice hardened. You don't get to decide that. I am your mother. You are not my owner. For the first time, Madame Seo looked genuinely angry. You have no idea what your grandfather left behind. I know about the trust. She went still. Who told you? I found out years ago. Then you know what happens if that child is born. What? Her eyes narrowed. The trust activates. Min-jae stared at her. And she leaned forward. Your child becomes the largest shareholder in Kong Group. Silence. Min-jae finally understood. His mother hadn't been afraid of embarrassment. She was afraid of losing the company. But then she said something that made his blood run cold. And there is one more condition. What? The trust only activates if the child is legally recognized as your heir. Min-jae stared at her. Madame Seo smiled. So if you marry Seo-jin before the birth, we can still stop it. His face hardened. You're asking me to deny my own child. I'm asking you to save your family. You mean your control. She stood. Choose carefully, Min-jae. Then she walked away. Min-jae remained alone. His phone vibrated. A message from an unknown number appeared. Your mother isn't the only person who knows about the trust. A second message followed. Ask your grandfather's lawyer what really happened the night he died. Min-jae stared at the screen. His grandfather had supposedly died peacefully. But now someone was suggesting that his death had been connected to the inheritance. He immediately called Amara. She didn't answer. He called again. Nothing. Then a third message arrived. If you want to save Amara and your child, find the original trust before your mother does. Min-jae looked toward the hallway. For the first time in his life, he wasn't afraid of disappointing his mother. He was afraid of what she might have done to keep the Kong Empire in her hands. And somewhere across Seoul, Amara was about to discover that the forged evidence destroying her career had been created by someone she had never suspected. Amara stared at the signature on the forged document. She knew that handwriting, not because she had seen it often, because she had seen it once. On a legal file Min-jae had shown her months earlier. The signature belonged to Kong Min-jae's personal assistant, Mr. Han. Her heart began pounding. She called Seo-jin. Are you awake? Yes. I need you to come somewhere. Where? I'll send the address. 20 minutes later, Seo-jin arrived. Amara showed her the document. Do you recognize this signature? Seo-jin looked at it. Yes. Whose? Mr. Han. Min-jae's assistant? Yes. Amara shook her head. That doesn't make sense. Why? Because the document was supposedly prepared by my law firm. Seo-jin stared at her. So someone inside Min-jae's office created it? Or someone wanted us to believe that? They looked at each other. Then Amara understood. The attack on her wasn't just meant to destroy her career. It was designed to make her look like the person who had leaked the information. That way, if she later exposed the Kong family's financial crimes, nobody would believe her. Seo-jin whispered, They're discrediting you before you speak. Exactly. Amara stood. Then we're going to make them regret it. But before she could move, her phone rang. Min-jae. This time she answered. What happened? I found something. So did I. Amara, listen to me. No. You listen. She told him about Mr. Han. He went silent. Are you sure? Yes. I'll investigate. You can't. Why? Because someone inside your circle is involved. I trust him. That is the problem. Min-jae didn't respond. Amara softened slightly. Where are you? My grandfather's old office. Why? I found a reference to the original trust. Her eyes widened. Can you access it? I don't know. Then don't touch anything until I get there. She ended the call. Seojin stood. You're going? Yes. You still trust him? Amara looked toward the door. No. She paused. But I need to know whether he's finally telling me the truth. When Amara reached the old Kong estate, Min-jae was waiting. He looked exhausted. She walked inside. Show me. He led her to an old study. A locked cabinet stood against the wall. My grandfather kept legal documents here. Min-jae opened it. Inside were dozens of files. Amara searched through them. Then she found a sealed envelope. The label read, "For my grandson only after my death." Min-jae opened it. Inside was a letter. He read silently. His face changed. What? He handed it to Amara. She read the first paragraph. His grandfather had written that he feared Madame Seo would eventually attempt to control Kong Group through illegal means. But the next paragraph was worse. He claimed that the inheritance trust had been created because he had discovered evidence that someone inside the family had already been stealing company money. Amara looked at Min-jae. Who? He kept reading. Then he stopped. It's Mr. Han. Amara's blood went cold. But Mr. Han works for you. Exactly. The room fell silent. Then footsteps sounded outside. Min-jae looked toward the door. Someone was coming. Amara whispered, Hide the letter. The door opened. Mr. Han walked inside. He looked at both of them. Then his eyes fell on the open cabinet. You shouldn't have found that. Min-jae stepped forward. How long have you been stealing from my family? Mr. Han smiled. You still think this is about money? Amara stepped beside Min-jae. Then what is it about? Mr. Han looked at her. You. Amara froze. He continued. Your mother didn't choose you. Min-jae frowned. What are you talking about? Mr. Han laughed. You really don't know. He reached into his coat. Min-jae moved toward him. Don't. Mr. Han pulled out a photograph. He threw it onto the desk. Amara picked it up. It showed Min-jae's grandfather standing beside a young black woman. Amara stared at the photograph. She recognized the woman. She had seen her before, in an old photograph in Min-jae's apartment. His grandfather's former attorney. The woman who had helped create the trust. But there was something else. The woman was holding a baby. Amara's eyes widened. Who is that child? Mr. Han looked directly at Min-jae. Your grandfather had another son. Min-jae stepped backward. That isn't possible. He was born in America. Amara looked at the photograph again. The room seemed to spin. Mr. Han continued. And that man's daughter is alive. Min-jae stared at him. Where? Mr. Han looked at Amara. Right here. Silence. Amara couldn't breathe. What? Mr. Han smiled. Your mother isn't afraid because you're pregnant. He pointed at Amara. She is afraid because your child isn't the only person with a claim to the Kong fortune. Min-jae looked at Amara in disbelief. What does that mean? Mr. Han's expression hardened. Your father had a secret child. Amara shook her head. No. Mr. Han pulled out another document. A birth certificate. Her name was on it. Amara Williams. Min-jae stared at the page. Amara couldn't speak. Then Mr. Han delivered the final blow. Your mother isn't your only enemy, Amara. He looked toward the door. She isn't even the person who brought you to Seoul. The door behind them suddenly slammed shut. Someone had locked it from the outside. Min-jae rushed toward it. He pulled the handle. Nothing. Then smoke began creeping beneath the door. Amara covered her mouth. Min-jae. He looked at her. The room was filling quickly. He grabbed her hand. Stay close. She coughed. What's happening? I don't know. Then his phone rang. The screen showed one name. Mother. He answered. Madame Seo's voice came through calmly. Min-jae. He shouted. What did you do? Her answer was almost a whisper. I told you to choose carefully. The call ended. Min-jae looked at Amara. For the first time, she saw genuine terror in his eyes. Not fear for the company. Not fear of his mother. Fear for her. And as the smoke thickened, Amara realized the pregnancy. The forged documents, the inheritance, and even her arrival in Seoul might all have been part of the same plan. But one question remained. If Madame Seo had orchestrated all of this, why had she wanted Amara's child to be born at all? The answer would come only after Min Jae made a choice that could cost him everything. He wrapped his arm around Amara and pulled her toward the window. "I'm getting you out." She looked at him through the smoke. And then, he stared into her eyes. "Then I'm going after my mother." The window shattered, and somewhere below them, sirens began screaming through the night. Months later, the truth would finally reach a courtroom. But before that happened, one person would betray Madame Seo. One person would risk everything to save Amara. And one secret buried inside the Kong family would finally prove that the woman they had called a gold digger had never been chasing their fortune. She had been carrying the one thing that could destroy it. If this story kept you hooked, subscribe to the channel, like the video, and share it with someone who loves emotional Korean family dramas, hidden identities, romance, betrayal, and powerful comebacks. And don't forget to comment. Would you have forgiven Min Jae after everything he did?